Hey, what's up, guys? This is Alex, and I just decided to make this video as a separate one to cover my activities on Friday. Now, as you can see in my fully updated daily results here, my last active day was the 26th, which was Thursday. However, there were some things that happened on Friday that I consider noteworthy, and I think the runtime might end up being around 12 minutes, so I decided to separate this into another video and talk about a few things that I think have extremely high educational value. So I came into Friday morning with a lot of confidence on PRPO. I had watched it the day before. I had seen, even though it was trending down here on the 5-minute chart that I've extended, it held very well at the $3 level and was showing a lot of promise. You can see in the after hours and pre-market, it was moving up still. It had gapped up over its previous close and was approaching the highs of the day before, which was 395. And just due to its history and due to the daily chart, which is over here on the right side, you can see all the resistance levels that I had mapped out at that time. I had a lot of confidence in this thing. I thought we're going up till at least 440, and if we break both 440 and 470, then 650 is the next target. And given the history on this thing, I was like, yes, it's gonna happen, guys. Like, I was talking pretty tough in the Velocity chat room on YouTube, saying, yeah, you guys don't know what you're talking about, man. This thing's going to the moon, blah blah blah. And everybody was like, I don't know. It's Friday, second day momentum, is it really going to hold up? And people were talking about it fading and this and that, and I was like, nah, you guys don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't really saying all those things, but that's what I was thinking. And long story short, this thing just got slaughtered at the open. I mean, you can see here five-minute candles in a row going red, opening at 356, just for a second moving up to 369, and then dropping pretty much straight down all the way to 281. And for the rest of the day, it basically just choked. And on this day, I decided to close up shop very quickly. Once PRPO failed, I was like, okay, that's it for me. I'm not taking any trades in this simulator again for the rest of this day. I'm just going to call it a week because, you can see if I open my trade log here, you'll see that my accuracy on 8 trades that I took this week is only 50%. And yet I still managed to have almost $112 in gross P&L, which on a balance of 2,000 where I started, that's pretty strong. That's 10% return on equity, and I'm happy with that. So to be able to pull out that kind of a week, especially given, my first trade of this account, which was an absolute disaster right here, where I lost $3 a share on PSTV, with, given the fact that I had that start and I recovered from it and managed to work my way through this week profitably, despite the fact that I'm super rusty, that I haven't traded in so many months, and I'm not super in tune with the market right now, and all kinds of things like this. I was really happy to even close this week green. So when PRPO failed, I pretty much threw in the towel for the week and decided to call it finished. So a little bit of background information here. The stream that I use for commentary and for education and for scanners as well is Velocity Trading. I tune in every day and I use them from pre-market to when they turn off, generally between 10:30 and 11. And on this particular day, on Friday, they were having a giveaway where there was going to be some sort of trivia question, and whoever got it right would win a shirt, a Velocity Trading shirt. And so what happened, what I'm about to show you here, is I made a read on a sound that I heard on this stream. It was the click of a button that I immediately recognized, and I heard it a couple times in previous streams. It's the sound of the mute button on my mic, the type of mic that I have that I'm using right now, which is a Blue Yeti. And I recognized it on Nick's end, the host of the channel. I recognized it right away. And so I took a pot shot at winning a free shirt, and I asked him this question.
Casper, if you guess my mic brand, will you send me a t-shirt? Yeah, screw, why not? Go for it, Casper. Bingo, yep. You're right, Casper. Blue Yeti.
And so just that quickly, instead of, thinking about how much of a bummer it was that PRPO died at the bell and how slow the week it was, I was suddenly thinking, and then after that, of course, I was obligated to make the joke that even though my gross BNL for the day was a t-shirt, once commissions were removed, it would only be a tank top, etc. Ha ha ha. But I really do have an important point to get to here. So let's take a look at what I did with the rest of my Friday. All right, so we've had a bit of a change of plans here. It's now Monday night, and I'm still not done this video. I tried for about 6 hours last night to get the information out that I wanted to, and I just continued being unsatisfied with the edit that I came up with. And so we're going to do a little bit of a change of plans here. I'm not going to be going over the trades in any kind of detail that I had originally intended to. Instead, I'm just going to talk about the concept behind them and explain a certain process that's going on behind the scenes with this account. Now, first off, I just want to address a sentiment that exists within the trading community, which is just awful. A lot of traders who, particularly the successful ones, or certain successful ones anyway, have a certain attitude of arrogance towards simulators. There's a lot of people out there who just think they're too good for a simulator, and they think to themselves, "Oh, I make $200,000 a year. What do I need with a simulator? This, that, and whatever." And this is one of the most demonstrably stupid and most ignorant possible attitudes you can have. And what I'll use as an analogy here is sports, the world of sports, okay? Whether you're into hockey, baseball, golf, whatever it is, I mean, you take any one of the top people from those sports, whether it be Wayne Gretzky or Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods, those people did not get to where they are by only competing in championship events. They got there by being at practice every day, by thinking about how to get better every day, and spending every waking minute trying to improve the way they approach their sport and just nonstop trying to improve themselves. And the equivalent in trading, the championship event is like the live account, and the practices are the simulator. And so it's the same pattern. You have to be always getting better, and the best way to do that without risk is to be using a simulator. Now, I only discovered this not a long time ago. In early 2019 is when I had the first time that I had a live account and a proper simulator, a very realistic simulator operating side by side. And that, let me tell you, was probably the best thing I've ever done for my trading education, because it allowed me to suck away all the questionable trades from my live account and stuff them into the simulator, where I could just try all kinds of stuff risk-free. I would try to improve upon, the areas where I thought I was weak. I got to experiment with different strategies, and whether you're a new trader or whether you're an experienced trader, it doesn't matter. I think the most important thing you can do for yourself, or the most useful thing rather, is to have a simulator on hand all the time, because the market conditions won't always be great for your go-to setup, but maybe that's an opportunity to practice something else. Now, this is the trade log that you're familiar with, and even now on Monday night, this is still the status of the live account that I'm simulating. I have not taken a trade in my live simulated account since September 26th. Now, does that mean that I'm not trading on the days where I'm inactive? No, it doesn't. I'm still practicing. And this is because it's not a good enough use of my time to take 0 trades in a day. So the practice that I do that you're not going to see in the majority of my recaps, and I'm going to try to avoid spending time on later, is once I've locked up my day, like once I've decided, okay, this is it, this is where I'm cutting off the simulated live account, I continue trading, and I continue trying to get better at the more questionable setups where I don't have a history of executing properly, or profitably rather. So here's what I do instead. Now, this is what you're looking at now are my daily results, and you can see I've only had 3 active days so far in the live account that I'm simulating. And so what I do is I fill this in, I log all my information, and once I plug my information into these trackers, that's it. The day's cut off, and I have to stay disciplined on that. And the way that I know that I'm free to continue trading is that I write down what my balance is, or rather, it's calculated by this tracker. So I get my balance, which in this case for the next day would have been 20.51.33. And that's what I opened with on Friday. Now, as I mentioned, Friday turned out to be a total bummer. And once PRPO failed, I said, okay, that's it for this account. I'm shutting her down. But I didn't stop trading. I'll show you in a moment the trade that I did take on Friday. And I'll also show you again on Monday what I did today. And today was a case where I was up late last night. I was working on some stuff, including this video, and I didn't sleep well. I woke up at 5 a.m. I didn't really want to get up at 5 a.m. I spent about an hour working on some things, and I went back to bed. And by the time I woke back up, it was 8:45, and I really didn't feel well when I woke up. And I failed my pre-market checklist. Now, this is sort of a sidetrack here, in that I wasn't disciplined enough in the morning to allow myself to trade in this account. And so what I did instead, largely because of the discipline, but also because the market was just an absolute joke this morning. The gap scanner was awful. It was one of the deadest days I've ever seen. And so all these factors combined meant, okay, I'm closing up shop before the bell even rings. And so right away, I moved on to practicing. Now, what I'm simulating in this case is me closing my live account and opening up my simulator, which would be Dash Trader if I had a live account. So once again, we're looking at my trade log, and I'm going to give you a quick little overview of what's going on behind the scenes. Now, you can see down here at the bottom left, I have 3 tabs labeled SEP for September, Q3, and 2019. These are all for my live account, and these are time frames in which I store my data. Now, on the right side, we have Sim All, and these are where I book my simulator trades to evaluate later as to how well they're doing, and just try to see if I can add any tricks to my bag. And so these are the 6 trades that I've taken so far. And you can see on Friday, I had a huge one. I had a home run on TTPH, which I will show you. It was an extremely sketchy trade. Even though my risk was low throughout the whole thing, I had to suffer through a long period of no volume. And I'm just going to give you the information real quick. Here is a breakdown of all my entries and exits on the trade on TTPH. You can look at this in your own time, pause the screen if you need to throughout this quick movement. And then this is the chart, the 5-minute chart on TTPH. My first entry was on this candle here, and I exited on my last exit, I believe, was on this candle here. Now, if I go back to my log here, you have the open and close times over on the left. So you can bring up the charts, like I said, on your own time. I'm not going to run through any of these right now. I'm just going to show you the charts and the trades. So OCGN, I had 2 losers on that today. The first one was really bad. Put myself in the red right away by about $143. And then I had 3 winners in a row. And we're going to walk through exactly what I'm doing behind the scenes, what I did on Friday in order to reset my balance. Okay, so here we are back in my broker screen, and as you can see, my trades, which I'll show you all the entries and exits here. Hold on a sec. All right, so the bottom is the earliest, and we're going up to the top. So if you need to look at individual entries and exits, go ahead. This is the time. Like I said, pause the video if you need to, and then I'll scroll up to the top, and this is my last exit. So all of these trades are visible in the trade log that I just showed you, the Sim tab of my trade log. So they're all already plugged in, and you can flip between these screens, pause the video if you need to, like I said. But what we'll notice, a note here about Dash Trader, the automatic way that it works is you choose your starting balance, and then the software will reset your balance every day to whatever the starting one was. However, if you so please, which I do, you send an email to DAS Trader and you say, hey, I want my balance to add itself to the next day. So it simulates a live account perfectly. And you can see my equity to start today was the same 2051.33 that it was at the close on Thursday. And the reason for that is because after Friday's trade, which was a home run where I made like 640 something, I reset the equity to where it was supposed to be. Because it's a little bit weird right now. I'm trading sort of two simulators in one account, which is what's going to get confusing, or what would be confusing if I continued to show all my simulated trades. And so we're going to do this right now. I'm going to do this with you and show you what I will do. So what I did on Friday, rather. So right now, if I don't touch anything, if I don't change anything, I'm going to open $206.66 higher than this account equity. But that's not the status of my live account. Tomorrow I want to open with exactly this, because all these trades I made today, just like the one that I made on Friday, they don't count. They're simulated. They're part of something else. So here's what I'm going to do, and here's what I'll do every time. This is the, sorry, I'll do that a little slower. I just right click on the account information, reset buying power / equity, and then in the total window, what I'll have to do is subtract, or I'm going to reset the equity so that once this is added to it tomorrow, it'll open at the same amount. So 2051.33 minus 206.66 equals 1844.67. So 1844.67, and then I hit commit, and then you can see my equity has changed to 1844.67. So tomorrow at the open, I will open once again at the same 2051.33 that I'm supposed to. So this is a way that this is a method that I use to be able to simulate two different accounts using only one account. It's kind of weird the way it works, and that's why normally I will make when I have a live day, like when I have a day that counts for this account here, I will make the recap before I start practicing so that you don't get to see any of the trades in my trade window here, because otherwise it's going to get confusing. I'm sure some of you right now are just really confused, and I'm going to try to protect you from further confusion by not showing you my practice trades. I will, every now and then, if there's a lot of dead days in a row, I will open back up my sim tab and say, oh, here's where I'm at. And you can see so far I'm doing really well. I've made almost $860 in these 6 trades, which greatly surpasses the progress that I've had using the setups that I'm more comfortable with. You can see there's a few differences in share size average and a couple of other things. I'm definitely taking more risk on these trades. I'm trying to experiment with ways to grow a small account. And I don't want to do that in a way that I would normally do in a live account. So this is why I'm separating these trades in this way. So as I show you the chart, the relevant 5-minute chart here for my trades on OCGN today, which my first entry was back here at 1040, and my last exit was within this 5-minute candle, which you can see evidenced by the time, 10:40:13 up until 3 something, or I guess it was a little bit later. Yeah, it was over here. But mainly, if there's further confusion about anything that I'm doing here, I just want to point out quickly that everything you're seeing in here is going to be explained in separate videos, super concisely. I'm going to go through a step-by-step process how you can make these trackers yourself. I built this myself. It represents hundreds of hours of evolution and refinement, and I'm definitely very interested in giving away my method for making these. Same thing with the entry and exit calculator. This is something I use every single day. It's how I get my averages to plug into these trackers. And all these stats up here too, I'm going to break down all the math that's behind these. You know, if I click on any number of these, you can see that there's math at work here. A quick little note about that is when the title is highlighted in yellow, it's an input that I put in myself, and when the title is black, as it is here, 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 and all up here, and these ones too, those have formulas plugged in that auto calculate based on the inputs that I put down below. So don't worry too much if any of this is unclear right now. The only reason I haven't done it already is because I'm currently swamped with all kinds of work. It's the end of a month, it's the end of a quarter, it's a lot of big periods are ending right now for me for business. So I'm kind of swamped with work right now, and my priority is to get the recaps done, because making recaps retrospectively, as you're seeing in this video, is extremely difficult. It's hard to remember what you were thinking in each individual moment. And so I'm just trying to bang out these recaps as quickly as possible. And then later on, I'll be releasing videos, how-to guides, how to get set up for DAS Trader. That's actually kind of a complicated process in my opinion. And I'm going to go over all that stuff. So keep tuned to this channel, and you will learn all the things that, or you'll learn about all the things that I'm doing here, how to do them yourself if you're a new trader and you want to save money. Quick note about TraderView. I used to use TraderView, and then I found a number of errors in the way that they calculate trades and a couple of other things. So I no longer use them. No offense, TraderView, but your program's no good. And so I built my own trackers, and that's where we're at here. And even if you do like those and you're comfortable with the mistakes that TraderView makes, it's very important when you're learning to be able to save money where you can. I mean, educating yourself for trading is a very long and grueling process. And as you'll learn, I put 100% into it. I mean, I was doing 13-hour days for about 14 months in order to learn about the market and all the things that I know today. But you may not have that time. And so anything you can do to give yourself more time to have a job in the meantime, which I did not while I was trading. I just basically lived off my savings. This is one of the things you can do. A professional tracker might run you $60 or $70 a month, and if you can save that by building your own with Microsoft Excel or whatever it is, then I think that's something you can do, or you should do rather. And so, just to recap, don't get too concerned if you don't understand what I'm doing here or what these trackers are about. I will break it all down in future videos. So until then. Or until tomorrow, hopefully I'm going to see a little bit more momentum in the market on Tuesday morning, and I'll have some actual bankable trades that I can share with you at that time.